After nearly 2 years of waiting, from the time it was announced in the investors meeting, with mystery after that about the game, then the closed beta in May, and then mystery after that, the mysterious and unknown Mario Kart Tour has finally been released, and pretty much everything about it has been revealed. So now, everyone can play the game.
Yeah, there seems to be some issues though.
We'll get into that, but before we start, I'd just like to say it was a fun journey while it lasted with the hype train for Mario Kart Tour. You know, I thought a mobile game that really wasn't that well known wouldn't get that much hype surrounding it, but it turns out the most popular videos I made were about Mario Kart Tour. So thank you for going through this journey for Mario Kart Tour. It's kind of fun to see how the game actually turned out compared to some of my theories about it and your theories. And let's talk about the game now because there's a lot to talk about, and we both played the beta, so we'll go back to that to talk about some differences. But overall, Mario Kart
Right.
Tour has a lot going for it, and I know a lot of people are just saying outright, oh, this is a game that's bad. And you're entitled to think that way, but I don't exactly feel that way. Unlike most Nintendo fans, I actually think it's a pretty good idea for Nintendo to make mobile games. Not only because more people will be able to get to play the games, but also it's just another platform where I can play Nintendo games. Like, let's just say I'm going to work or something and I'm on break. I probably wouldn't bring my Switch with me, but I always have my phone on me, so it's nice to be able to play Mario Kart wherever I go.
Meh. I don't like mobile games, so I'm the complete opposite.
You don't like any mobile games?
Nope.
But a little bit of history. Nintendo's had a rocky history with mobile games. I think they first tried it with Miitomo, that didn't really catch on. Then with Super Mario Run, we all know what happened. People didn't want to pay $10 up front. Then they did a few other mobile games. I
Yep.
think Fire Emblem was pretty successful. Dragalia Lost was too. Animal Crossing was a moderate success. And Dr. Mario World, I don't think it did very well.
Well, there's really no surprise there. I mean, it's not that Dr. Mario's niche. It's just like it's not like a huge franchise or anything.
Also, I think the monetization was a bit too much in that game, and the heart system at first really ruined it.
I didn't play much of it, just because it wasn't my thing. But I'll attest to that.
But yeah, so now Mario Kart Tour is here, and it's pretty clear that Nintendo was trying their absolute hardest to have a hit on their hands in the mobile market. They had a closed beta, they had an option for people who took place in it to give feedback, and before we talk about how the actual game turned out, I'd like to talk about the beta first, because you got to play that and I got to play that. So I played that when I was in Greece for a while. I think it was like
Yep.
2 weeks the beta went on. And I'd just like to note that out because if there's ever a beta again for any Nintendo mobile game, all you gotta do is have a North American Nintendo ID or Japanese. It doesn't matter what region you're in. But anyways, I thought the game was pretty good gameplay-wise, but had a lot of flaws. For example, I absolutely hated the heart stamina system. I hate that in any game where it just prevents you from playing with the hearts where you need to purchase them. There was also issues with there being a lack of tracks and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think some other issues with it were just how it was a gacha game and how it was pretty much pay to win. Fortunately, some of those issues have been resolved. The heart system is completely gone this time, which is absolutely great. I'm so glad Nintendo got rid of that. There are a few new tracks, there's not as many as I'd like, but at least some new tracks are better than none. And the ones they chose are pretty cool too. You got some based on real world locations. For now, the only one playable is the New York track, but there will be one based on Paris and two based on Japan.
Interesting. Um, yeah, my opinions are kind of the same about the beta. I wasn't really pumped to play it, but I did want to see, what it looked like and what it played like. It was exactly kind of what I expected, maybe a little bit worse. I couldn't get behind Mario Kart Mobile, especially with the controls. Like, I need an actual controller to play Mario Kart. Even if the track design is simplified, it just didn't feel right. I didn't like that you had to unlock characters randomly, which is something we'll talk about later on too. Yeah, um, it just wasn't a good first impression for me personally.
Yeah, it was kind of a mixed first impression for me too, but I saw potential in the concept of Mario Kart on mobile. I didn't like the beta too much because of a lot of the issues it had, like with the stamina and stuff like that. But I wrote some of the
Right.
things down that changed since the beta, and some of them are completely arbitrary, but I'm going to point them out anyway, and some of them are pretty important to note. So the differences between the beta and the final game are no heart system. I already went over that. That's great. I made sure I put that when I was giving feedback, and I'm glad Nintendo listened because having a beta and not listening to feedback, there wouldn't be any point to it. So that's great that that's gone.
Well, at least to most of it.
At least most of it.
Yep.
Now, another thing is, emeralds are now rubies. I don't know why they changed that. I think the emeralds look more appealing, but literally all they did was they changed the green emeralds to red diamonds. I really don't know why they did that, but that's something to point out. They also added combos to the game for when you do a certain thing like glide for an extended period of time or dash, or not dash, drift and get a turbo boost and go over jumps. You can get combos for that and it's pretty rewarding even though it's just a few extra points and sounds. So that is a cool thing they added in the game. I don't think that was in the beta, but it's great to have it here. And then the
Yeah.
presentation, as I expected, it looked a little bit choppy in the beta. The textures weren't exactly there. But you know what? The game looks really good for a mobile game. I would say it looks like a step above Mario Kart 7, but not quite to Mario Kart 8. Maybe somewhere like Arcade GP DX.
Which is not that bad.
Yeah, but the only problem is it's vertical. Vertical orientation. I was gonna say portrait, then I was actually gonna say landscape, but I didn't want people to get confused. There's no landscape mode, which absolutely sucks. So you can only play the game in portrait mode, and I saw a bunch of comments totally against having it only in portrait mode. But unfortunately, that's what Nintendo decided to do.
I wonder why, because it totally could have worked um for both ways.
I mean,
I
it could have,
just
but Nintendo just chose not to for
uh,
some reason, and playing it in landscape mode, it just feels way more, or not landscape, portrait mode, it just feels way more cramped, and it feels a little bit uncomfortable. So before we get to some of the negatives about the
which
game,
is
what did you like about Mario Kart Tour?
uh I didn't get to play the full game yet. I did get to play a little bit today on my friend's phone. Um, the controls are definitely different from the beta, I noticed. They're a lot less stiff, but how do I put this? It takes a little while to get used to the controls. I'm still not a big fan of the controls. I'm of the opinion that Mario Kart should be played with the controller, but if you're willing to adapt to playing with one finger Mario Kart, then it should be fine. Just keep in mind that it's going to take a little bit to get used to. I thought the graphics looked actually not that bad. I thought it was pretty cool. Uh, I like the costumes that they gave the characters. Maybe that's some hope for Mario Kart 9 whenever that comes out. Um, yeah, I mean, nothing else really specific stuck out to me during my playtime.
So I can agree with you there on quite a few things. The track selection's good, the presentation's a lot better. I like the alternate costumes and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of weird they're characters, but I digress about that. And the
Oh,
character
they're
roster
actually
is
characters?
pretty. Yeah, they are actually characters. Like musician Mario takes up his own
Of
slot.
course. Of course, in classic Nintendo style. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. Well, they're the same ones who made Pink Gold Peach and Peachette.
Yeah, I was expecting them to change, but then I realized Dr. Mario is a character in Smash.
Well, Dr. Mario, it makes
But,
sense,
oh, well.
but Peachette, really? But the character roster is good, and we know that certain characters are coming. But I find it really weird that there's only such a limited selection for now, and then they're gonna drip feed other characters. There's not even Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi. Why?
Oh, that's weird because they were in the beta.
It's ridiculous.
At least Waluigi was in the beta. I don't know about Wario.
Every character from Mario Kart 8 except for Lakitu and Bowser, or Bowser Jr. wasn't in Mario Kart 8, and Pink Gold Peach were in the beta. But we know for sure that Lakitu, Bowser Jr., and King Boo are going to be in the final game because they were in the beta. But it's really weird that you can't just
Yes.
unlock every character that was in the beta and they're going to drip feed them. We already know they're in the game, so I don't know why they're doing that. But either way, this
I feel
looks
like
like it's going to be the best
yeah,
roster of Mario Kart characters yet.
which is sad considering it's a mobile game.
Yeah, if only Mario Kart 8 could have that good of a roster. But with the
Or
controls,
Mario Kart 9.
they are a little bit hard to get used to. But I feel like once you
Mhm.
get used to them, you know they're fine for what they are. They're not as bad as everyone says they are. I use the steer controls where you can't do the drifts. I just find it more comfortable to use. But with that being said, the tracks are pretty
Mhm.
fun. I like the selection. You know, there's not too many new tracks, but the ones they chose are good. They're pretty much all from Mario Kart 7
Mm.
except for Yoshi's Circuit, which was Double Dash in Mario Kart 8. So they have a good selection here. But unfortunately, things just go kind of downhill from there. There is so much potential with Mario Kart Tour. There are so many concepts that I've wanted in a new Mario Kart game for the longest time. Character-specific items coming back. That's a great thing. They have character-specific items for a lot of characters. I think they have a new one for the babies, which is the bubble, which lets you fly through the
Don't
course.
they
That
have
one's really cool. And they had the banana gun for Diddy Kong. What
Don't
were
they
you gonna
have
say?
Bowser's shell as well from Double Dash?
Yeah, they have Bowser's shell from Double Dash. They have a Yoshi egg, and they have the giant banana from Double Dash too. So, and the heart from Double Dash, which
A lot of
Peach and
Double
Daisy
Dash
use.
love.
So there's a lot of items from Double Dash. That's great, but it's Mario Kart Tour. I'm not saying it's a bad
Right.
game, but there are a lot of flaws with it. And missions are back. That's another thing people have wanted. They've wanted more single-player content in a Mario Kart game. We have games like Crash Team Racing, but I might be controversial for saying this, but I don't think any racing game comes close to how smooth Mario Kart is. I think it's just a gold standard of racing games or kart racers. Not this one
Um.
specifically, but I'm talking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
Yeah, I know what you're.
best kart racer ever
I
made.
know what you're talking about. I think it's in the top three. I don't know, man. CTR is pretty great once you get used to the controls. But I
No,
do agree with
CTR
you.
is
It's one
pretty
of the
great.
best kart racers ever made. Yeah.
So to
Um.
see all these concepts
Yeah.
in the game and alternate costumes, all this stuff is great. But you realize how much lost
Right.
potential there is when you see the problems that Mario Kart Tour has. And I'll get into these now. So the first thing is the elephant in the room, the microtransactions. So I'm going to start off with the rubies first. The rubies in this game are way too expensive for what they are. Basically, the rubies are the premium currency in the game, and this is used to use the pipe, get tickets and stuff like that. Like if you wanted to get, I don't know, play the coin rush mode where you can get
Right.
more coins, you need the rubies to do that. And right now, the
So
prices
wait,
are
let me
way
ask.
too expensive. What were you gonna ask?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question. So you could buy rubies, but you can't buy max.
You can't buy Max?
Max and Ruby, Ruby and.
That was horrible, but I
I'm
will
sorry.
never edit that out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I had
to
to.
stop
It
myself
just
from
came into my
laughing,
mind.
I'm gonna list the price of the premium currency in the game, which doesn't happen to be emeralds. So for 3 of them,
Yeah.
it's $1.99. That can't even get you a game of the pipe. Then for 10 of them,
Right.
$5.99. 23, $12.99, 48, which gives you 10 spins. $26.99. You could get Mario Kart 7 for that price, or pretty much any Mario Kart game, except for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or some of the older ones like Double Dash and 64, which skyrocketed in price for some reason. 93 for $50 and 135 for $70. You can get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for that price, and that is insane for something that's essentially gambling.
Right. It's essentially super gacha cart, as Arlo likes to say it. If anyone's watched this video recently,
No, I saw the whole thing.
and that's the biggest issue.
I wouldn't say that's
It's
the biggest
gacha.
issue, but that is a pretty big issue. Now, the reason I say it's not the
It's
biggest
the biggest-
issue is because rubies are easy to come across. You can get them fairly quickly as long as you play the game and you keep on leveling up and getting high scores on the tracks. You should be able to get rubies without a problem. Also, this is something important to note too. There's a shop where you can use your coins to get characters and carts, and they change daily. So for today, they have Shy Guy, the Birthday Girl cart, Bowser, and the standard or the classic cart. So this will switch over time, and I think if you wait long enough, you could just buy the character you want. But the gacha element really isn't a good thing, but unfortunately that's how a lot of mobile games operate. I'm not defending it, but I understand why it's here. And if they get rid of the things like the heart system, I'm not too upset about the gacha thing, because at least I can still play the game. However, what I am very upset about is the Gold Pass being ridiculously expensive and locking 200cc behind it. Now, I might be in the minority for saying this, but I think a Gold Pass is fine if you want to unlock more stuff quickly, like let's say bonus rewards and stuff like that. That's fine. But first of all, $60? That's the price of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's also 3 times more than Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo Switch Online isn't good, but at the same time, there's more you can do with it than just pay for Mario Kart. $60 to play 200cc and get a few more rewards. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And people are freaking out about this.
Well, I can't say I didn't see it coming, to be honest, because like you said before, mobile game companies have done this before, and this is Nintendo we're talking about.
You know, after playing NBA Streets V3 on the GameCube, I figured, will Nintendo and EA ever team up again? I think they might have secretly made this game.
Hey, listen.
Can't spell
man,
DNA without EA.
Rumors listen, there's rumors that an EA character is coming to Smash. So keep your ears out for a quarterback football player for the Fighter Pass number 5.
Or LeBron James.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That wouldn't be out of the question because Mario was playing with real-life basketball players, which I still can't believe it happened, even though playing the game. But anyways, the Gold Pass is ridiculously expensive. But the biggest issue of all is, without a doubt, a lack of multiplayer at launch. This has got to be one of the stupidest things Nintendo has ever done. I would put this up there with canceling their partnership with Sony, and I would put it up there with the Wii U fiasco, where they didn't make it clear what it was, and it turned out to be a failure.
I love the sound of that, the Wii U fiasco. Sorry, go on.
It was a fiasco. Like Mario Party 9.
Oh, God. Yeah. But continue.
Having a Mario Kart without multiplayer is like having a car without a key. It's pointless. And to have it launched this way is a major problem. Because you gotta keep in mind, most of the most successful mobile games are games you can play with people. People have so much fun playing pool on iMessage and Bitmoji Tennis. Could you imagine if they were able to play something like Mario Kart with friends? That would completely obliterate those kind of games. Well, maybe not. Mario Kart, if it had multiplayer at launch, I would consider it to be as big as Pokemon Go, because people were tweeting about it all last night, not knowing that you couldn't play it until 4 a.m., and even then, you couldn't play it because the servers were overloaded. But if it had multiplayer, people would be talking about it nonstop. But it doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Why did they delay it if they couldn't even include something as basic as multiplayer in a Mario Kart game? How could
It
Nintendo be
feels,
so
yeah.
stupid to miss an opportunity that could have put them in pop culture fame for 2019?
Well, I can't really say that I saw this coming too because they pulled the same stunt with a console game a couple of months ago.
They
That
did
still didn't get that update.
with Mario Maker 2.
It's
But here's the thing.
it's been months. What's going on? I'm sorry, but it's off topic, but still, like, what is going on?
No, I saw the correlation. But here's the thing. Mario Kart is built on the foundation of multiplayer. Super Mario Maker 2, it's nice to have it, but it's not needed. I'm not defending it at all. I think it was stupid Nintendo didn't include the option to play with friends in multiplayer in Mario Maker 2. But
Yeah.
I will say there is nothing more stupid than having a Mario Kart without multiplayer. And yes, it's coming in an update, but how long is this update going to take? Weeks? Months? Years? Centuries?
That's
It's
the,
unclear,
that's
and
the
that's the
thing.
problem.
The thing is like I think that's going to be their new way of shutting the fans up. They're going to say they're going to do an update, and they actually never do it because nobody's talking about the Mario Maker 2 update anymore. I feel like I'm the only one who's still bringing it up,
I've seen
just
people
because I
bring it
feel
up,
like
but this has got this has got to
yeah.
stop. This I don't want this to turn into a games as a service rant, but finish your games before
Yeah.
you release them, because having a Mario Kart
Right.
without multiplayer, you just killed pretty much 95% of the interest in the game. People were
Yeah.
so excited to play this with their friends. Having the option to play Mario Kart with the people who would have made fun of you years ago for liking the Wii U is something that could have been huge for Nintendo. This could have been
Yeah.
their Pokemon Go, but instead, they decide to release it without multiplayer and say, oh, we'll add this in later. What's going to
To
happen?
be honest,
How long
yeah.
will people want to play a single player Mario Kart? People don't
Well,
have
to be
patience
yeah.
anymore.
That's right. To be honest, though, I'm kind of glad that it didn't take off the way it did, like Pokemon Go, because now we don't have normies kind of like involved in Mario Kart. Like you were saying before, we used to get made fun of for um, liking games like that, and then all of a sudden they're just kind of like, "Oh, I like Mario Kart." A little rant on my side. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I see what you're talking about. But overall, I think Mario Kart Tour is a good game. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it just has so many issues that I can't look past that I don't feel comfortable saying that this is a great mobile game and this is one of Nintendo's best Mario Kart games. I mean, I knew it wouldn't be, but I'm not sure if I'm disappointed because I kind of expected this. But at the same time, how could you not have multiplayer in a Mario Kart game? If they had the gacha stuff, if they had the
I
gold pass, you know what? That would suck. But I understand why they have to
yeah.
do that in order to get money from players. I'm not for loot
I
boxes. I
have
think they're
yeah.
stupid. I think it's overpriced what they're doing. But not having multiplayer, that's going to kill a lot of interest in the game. And whether or not they add it,
I
I'm pretty sure the interest will fade away if
mhm.
they wait too long because honestly, they have 2 weeks tops. So when they do the next tour and multiplayer isn't there, I'm not sure if this game will hold on. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the Pokemon Go effect won't happen to Mario Kart. I mean, there's a lot of theories about Pokemon, why the games are turning out the way they are now because Pokemon Go was such a hit that they don't really want to
Yeah.
focus on the main
It,
games anymore. But in the end,
that's my biggest yeah.
Mario
But
Kart
I do have
Tour,
a theory.
what's your theory?
It's highly speculative, but I think it explains why there's no multiplayer yet in Mario Kart Tour. Um, I find it really suspicious that there's a lot of new things in Mario Kart Tour that aren't in Mario Kart 8. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is preparing for the things that we will see in the next mainline Mario Kart game. Now, granted, there is no multiplayer in Mario Kart Tour. Here's what I'm thinking. I think it might be introduced with connectivity to Mario Kart 9. When will that be? I don't know. I think, though, when Mario Kart 9 gets announced, hypothetically, we will see the announcement of multiplayer in Mario Kart Tour with connectivity to Mario Kart 9. I think this is their long-term plan because I think that even Nintendo knows that you need multiplayer with Mario Kart Tour. I don't think they're dumb. I think this is what they're planning. I could be wrong, but honestly, I don't see how this couldn't be a possibility.
Well, we saw with Animal Crossing that some concepts from Pocket Tour carried on to Mario Kart 8. I mean, not Mario Kart 8, Animal Crossing New Horizons. So that's definitely a
Right.
possibility. But for now, I just feel like Mario Kart Tour is a fun distraction that has a lot of problems, and I am just so ready to play Mario Kart 9 now. And once that comes out,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mario Kart Tour will be a distant memory. But for now, you know what? It gets the job done. It's a new Mario Kart on mobile. Once multiplayer drops, I'll be playing it a lot more. But come on, how could Nintendo miss something like that?
There's a lot of things that I'm upset with Nintendo about, stemming from the Mario Maker 2 thing, but I won't get into it here just because I think we're pretty much done with Mario Kart Tour.
But yeah, I'm gonna still make videos about it because I still have more of an interest than you do. There are still things I want to talk about the game, but I'm glad we got our thoughts out there
Yeah.
because the game's finally out, and I feel like I'd be doing a disservice by not giving our thoughts out. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm
Right.
Demeech,
And I'm Ty the Guy.
and keep calm and Dada on.
Max and Ruby.